Since I stepped up my bow tie game, you couldn't really hang. It's unfortunate. More importantly, how are you guys doing? Smell it out there this morning? October. Long and grueling regular season is over, and playoff baseball is finally here. For this week's Back It Up, we're going to give you our World Series picks, and that's right, back it up. Tons of surprises around the league. Only 2 of 6 teams from last season reclaimed their division pennants. And remember, in the second year of this new playoff system, those division titles mean the difference between a 5-game series and a one-and-done scenario in the first round. Just ask the Reds. It all came down to last night for them, but they were sent packing in the first round by the Pirates. 6-2 final in Pittsburgh. Speaking of the National League, let's take a look at how that's going to play out. You already have the Pirates advancing to play the Cardinals, and on the other side, Braves have home field against the Dodgers. Moving over to the American League, tonight, winner take all, Indians versus Rays, wild card round. Unfortunately for the Rays, they just trotted their ace, David Price, out on Monday in the wild card tiebreaker against the Rangers. Tough spot to be in for their number 2, Alex Cobb. He's got one shot to get one win. Got the Athletics with home field over the Tigers, and then the Sox play whoever's going to come out of the wild card game. Boston's been on an absolute tear lately, 15 out of the last 23. Still, they got to watch out. The Tribe has got the vibe, y'all. And if the Indians get past the Rays, the Fighting Franconas will be headed up to Beantown. Boston is a town that's all about history, especially when it comes to sports. The manager who would be sitting in the visiting dugout won their only 2 titles in the last century. Look for that to affect a potential divisional series, especially after Francona's comments about the collapse 2 years ago when he was still managing in Boston. Now, like Derek said, every year Ole Miss and LSU play in the Magnolia Bowl. It's only been called that for about 5 years now, but the teams have met almost every year since 1894. Tigers are marching into the Grove for the primetime game Saturday night, but the Rebs made a similar march into Death Valley Halloween night in 1959, not knowing they'd leave as part of Louisiana sports lore forever. Neither the first-ranked Tigers nor the third-ranked Rebels had given up a touchdown in the first 7 games of the 1959 season. Ole Miss managed a field goal in the first quarter, but the defenses were so stifling, the score remained 3-0 well into the fourth. It seemed neither team was going to put 6 on the board this Halloween, but Billy Cannon had one more trick up his sleeve for Ole Miss, and one more treat for Tiger fans everywhere.
Billy Cannon watches it bounce. He takes it on his own 11. He comes back up.
On Wednesday, August 24th, Charles Hinton appeared before the Baton Rouge Metro Council trying to defend both his job and his integrity. He stood accused of violating open meetings laws.
I've never participated willingly or knowingly in any meeting that I would consider to be breaking the law.
However, if you ask him, he'll tell you that couldn't be further from the real reason he was there.
We started getting pushback when we started asking about credit card business.
Hinton, along with fellow ex-board member William Riley, contend that they were removed because they started delving into what they believed was a misappropriation of state funds. Phyllis Sims and Lois Arlene Norwood allegedly abused their position as bookkeeper and office manager to steal thousands in company money.
Here's the credit card. Y'all go to Marksville to the casino for the weekend, all expenses paid on the company.
The only employee not involved in the alleged activity was Sandra Holmes, leaving her to be the only witness to the suspected misconduct. According to Hinton, this is the reason that Sims and Norwood came to him requesting that the board fire Sandra Holmes.
And it was against my better judgment, but I agreed and voted to let her go.
It wasn't until the early part of 2013 that Holmes came to Hinton and the board with what she knew. As it turned out, this wasn't the first time something like this had happened. There was a criminal audit done of the company in 1997, alleging that over $200,000 was stolen.
But 2 of those employees that stated in there breaking the law are still employees, Gas Utilities. Okay? One of them is Arlene Norwood.
Hinton went to Councilman Trey Welch with this information, but claims he was met with resistance.
And I taped the entire conversation. You could hear me, trying to speak to him of these wrongdoings that are going on at Gas Utilities. He's not interested in all.
We were unable to obtain a copy of this tape, as Charles Hinton has already turned it over to the Inspector General's office. Both Councilman Trey Welch and Sandra Holmes declined to appear on camera for an interview. However, Sandra Holmes did state in a phone interview that she does believe the reason she was terminated was that she knew too much. So here's Hinton, sitting before the council, the same councilman now calling for his resignation. They accuse him of attending and conducting business at a meeting that had not been announced to the public. He claims he is there because he was getting too close to the truth. Either way, a verdict is going to be handed down.
7 yeas, 2 nays, 3 abstains, the motion is passed.
Charles Hinton is removed from his position on the board of the Gas and Utilities Commission. For Tiger TV, this is Seth Hewland.
I need to schedule a showing on 18773 Lake Harbor Lane.
It's 3 p.m. on a fall afternoon. Most 18-year-olds are just getting out of class, yet to decide on a career path. The crisis in Colin Bain's childhood forced him to plan on providing as quickly as possible.
My father owned a mortgage brokerage, and he was one of the people that was directly affected by the mortgage crisis, and that really kind of motivated me to get a game plan going as fast as I could. When I found out that you only had to be 18 to get your real estate license, I jumped all over it.
His senior year, he enrolled in realtor school and finished that before he even finished high school. Legally, he couldn't get his real estate license until he got his diploma, but that wasn't stopping him.
I said, hey, I really can't meet with you. And then the next week, and it became a every day. I would walk in and he was just, seriously, he was waiting out front. And always in a suit, always dressed sharp.
I would skip class in the middle of the day, go hide in the bathroom and change into a suit. After about 2 weeks of doing that, I finally caught him. He brought me back to his office. We did an interview right then and there, and he hooked me up with an internship while I was awaiting my license.
Well, he graduated, got his license, and became one of the youngest realtors in the state. He's mature and detail-oriented, but sometimes clients still have questions about his age.
The smarter and nicer people will ask me how long I've been licensed.
The answer to that question, about a year. His superiors seem pretty sure of his future already.
I have no doubt that by the time Colin is in his 22, 23, 24 years old, he'll be one of the top agents in the country.
For Tiger TV, Seth Hewland.
When I was in Vietnam, nobody helped me out. So when I get out here on these streets out here, they don't help me out.
Clyde Leon Fox, a cowboy around these parts. 40 years ago, he was drafted and sent to roam the jungles of Vietnam. Now, he roams up and down Bennington Street in Baton Rouge.
I serve my country. My country don't take care of me no more.
According to the National Council on Behavioral Health, up to 70% of veterans who suffer from mental health issues like PTSD aren't getting the care that they need. Used to be hard cots and army pillows for Cowboy, but these days he spends his nights here, on a bus stop bench in the corner of College and Bennington. It's hard for Cowboy to talk about the events he witnessed in the line of duty, experiences that clearly left scars that run deep.
I don't like to talk about that. I'm sorry. A 9-year-old came up with a grenade in his hands, but we didn't know he had a grenade in his hand. He killed 19 in my platoon, right in front of me. We had to kill him.
Experts estimate up to 30% of Vietnam vets suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder following their return home. The path to where he is now started with the war, but further tragedy sent Cowboy spiraling.
But my wife died. And I could not face reality no more. I just could not face reality no more.
He lost his wife of 13 years to cancer, and it was too much. He ended up here living on the street. So in the wake of Veterans Day, Cowboy simply wants to remind everyone of one thing.
If you see somebody out there flying a sign, they're homeless, they're hungry, they need help, don't turn them down. Always help them out.
Seth Hewland, Tiger TV.